the final mountain summer song, I had to go to John Denver, didn't I? I mean, I'm contractually obligated to go to John Denver if you're talking about a trip to the Rocky Mountains in the summertime. The Mountain Song, the name of that one.
It's right here in the paperwork.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had to sign duplicates.
Yeah.
Sensei Green is in here with us, and we're going to talk about one of the other new sports in Olympics, certainly not a new sport, but in Olympics it is, in Tokyo, karate. Art of the open hand. And Corey has been on the show with me several times before. Get a plug in for yourself and your business real quick, if you would.
Sure. We're located on Ringgold Road. We moved here about a year and a half ago, right before the virus, actually, into a new space, and it's called Green's Karate. We're the largest and only traditional full-time school here.
You've worked with youth a lot, as I remember the last several times we've talked. Sometimes special needs youth.
Correct.
And I think that's a wonderful thing. Karate, clearly a good sport for them.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm ready to license out what I do. I'm already doing that. I'm getting ready to...
Like almost a franchise.
Well, franchise is one thing, but licensing out, teaching people how to teach people with special needs, how to teach them how to do it. I wrote a textbook on that, first one in the world, the only one in the world. But yeah, I teach all types of people. Doesn't matter who they are, age 2 to age 70 right now.
Age 2. I think people would be surprised to hear that, but it really isn't. But it's a physical discipline. It doesn't mean talking about breaking boards and being silly, big stupid taekwondo moves like in the movies. You're talking about discipline, learning something early. Why not?
Yeah, there's a method of instruction I use to teach these kids that is top secret. People laugh, but when they watch it, they're like, wow, this really works. And so I decided to start a class called Mommy and Me, or Daddy and Me 2 and 3. And then they can do it with them. And then they take off a little bit, and then they can rejoin them at a little bit later date when they get older, or they can keep continuing if they want.
The Olympic event itself, this move, were you surprised? Were you surprised that it actually made the leap?
Here's the thing. My guy made it on the U.S. team in 2016. The next month they announced the Olympics were going to be in Tokyo. And then we went to the World Championship and got to see this whole display of a world-class performance of music as well. There's a song called We Are Karate. So a big deal. And then we were supposed to, 2020 is the Olympics, but people get confused. My student is not going to be in the Olympics. He's on the U.S. para team, which is attached to the U.S. team. But there's 4 people that made it onto the Olympic team to go compete, 4 in karate, 4 in judo, and 2 in taekwondo. And the 4 people is Tom Scott, Ariel Torres, Sakura Kokomai, and also Brian
Now, the 2, I don't even know if it's form the correct.
Yes, the 2
for kata.
Kata is one of the events. It's a synchronized. It's a series of movements in a pattern where you do block, punches, and kicks and takedowns, but you are simulating combat in a stylistic way where you do in different stances. You cannot make any of this up. There's no music. You just have to do a prearranged sequence.
Literally, it is laid out for you. You're not going out there and freelancing.
Correct.
You're not freestyling is what I guess I was looking for there.
Yeah, you have to be taught correctly how to do it. Otherwise, you will get laughed at because the people are like, that is not actually
It is an exact thing. A kata is an exact movement.
Correct.
So how do you score that?
Well, there's different ways of scoring it. For para, they use scoreboards. For the nationals, they use flags, red and blue. And there's 5 judges when they do the flags, and they have to choose who they think is the better of the 2 competitors, usually. And then there's kumite, which is fighting.
I was going to say, I was going to take a run and jump. I thought it was kumite, but I wasn't positive.
Right.
When I was in college, all my PE classes I took in martial arts, and certain things stuck and certain things did. But kumite, I thought I had that right. That's sparring. That's now you're sparring against somebody. This is an actual toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano.
Correct. And the thing is that people don't know the difference between judo, taekwondo, and karate, but they're all going to be there at the same time. Judo was introduced in 1964, taekwondo in 2000, and karate now. But you can sweep, trip, punch, throw them on the ground, and they're going to be thinking, what is this? This is a judo. This isn't taekwondo. Of course it's not.
Sure.
It's karate.
It's karate. I was going to, judo is a lot of grappling.
Absolutely.
A lot of grappling. Taekwondo, higher kicks, it's said to be more aggressive, I'm not sure. Karate, really, the synthesis, more than anything else. I mean, including even in aspects of Tai Chi when you're talking about the kata, right?
Correct. When you move, there's even a breathing kata called Sanshin, which teaches you how to release stress. And there's so much depth to karate that people just don't understand it. It's just the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. That's just the way it is.
There will always be this debate. I don't have an expert opinion on it at all. I've always kind of assumed most of the martial arts as we know them originated in Korea. I know that it was originally done, if you believe the legends. Go ahead.
It's Japanese.
It was Japanese, all right,
Yeah.
but there you go. Monks and people who were lazy, and this was all an exercise program that was centuries ago, eons ago, and all the rest of the stuff. But clearly, you still kind of have the stereotype of it being an indigenous Asian thing, but Americans have been, there have been dojos now that have been popping up since the 60s, and before that. So is there a dominant country? Same question I've asked to some of the other guys. Is there a dominant country in the sport?
Yeah, so let's talk about Japanese martial arts. You got Judo, Sumo, Ninjutsu, Aikido, Iaido, Karate Do, Kenpo, Kendo. All those came from Japan. And so people get Tai Chi and Kung Fu, Wushu Kung Fu, white eyebrow Kung Fu, drunken Kung Fu. That's all.
White eyebrow Kung Fu? All right. There's one. That's a new one. That sounds like a drink. All right, go ahead.
And that's all Chinese. Then you got Hapkido, Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, and then they have a little offshoot. So that, and I started in Tang Sudo, which is what Chuck Norris started in. Yeah. And his teacher, Pat Johnson, is the fight choreographer for Karate Kid. So that's why they use the word karate and Karate Kid. And then the movie with Jaden Smith came out, and even the movie Jaden Smith walks away from his mom, and his mom goes, "Well, how was karate practice?" He's like, "It's not karate, Mom, it's Kung Fu." So again, people are just confused because they think everything's karate, like everything's a Coke here. So
Yeah. Every soft drink is a Coke.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Kung Fu isn't the literal translation beautiful thing?
I'm not too sure because I don't practice Kung Fu.
I don't know. That's what somebody told me one time, and I went with it. It sounded good. So, do you expect to see, and this, hopefully this will take, and this will become a regular thing in Summer Olympics. Do you see it actually increasing the popularity of the sport the way snowboarding did? Nobody thought snowboarding was going to make it into the Olympics either. Now look.
I already kind of know what's going to happen in the future with that, and karate is not slated to be in the Olympics after this one time. This is the only time you're going to see it.
Already they've made that decision?
Absolutely.
Why? Jinx. Samesies.
Where's the Olympics? It's in Tokyo. So they have a choice of what they want to see, but it's not, the Paralympics is not going to be in Tokyo either. They don't have karate in the Paralympics either. So it's just a choice by the IOC. They make decisions what rises and falls. To give you an idea, Tiger Woods made golf go into the Olympics because before
it was Tiger Woods.
Before all that happened to him, and his wife, it was 3 weeks. They made he called them, and 3 weeks later they made a decision, and that is how golf made it into the Olympics.
Well, you know what the IOC is concerned with? Money.
Right.
Money. The IOC makes about 80% of its entire budget from the Olympics, and then they control everything. And it's kind of a racket, but it's a racket we all enjoy. Will you be, and will you ask your students, your peer group, will y'all be watching? Whatever time it airs?
Absolutely. We're trying to get people to watch the people that are on the U.S. team and watch what they can do and where they're going to go. There's also foreign countries we watch as well, how good of competitors they have. Spain has Sandro Sanchez, another guy from a country I can't even pronounce. His name is Rafael Gayev. He's a 5-time world champion. But we call Tom Scott Captain America. Aero Torres, he's got the Got Milk commercials. Sakura Kokomai is doing all kinds of stuff, Panasonic and Rafael and Polo, and Brian Urs is the quiet guy that no one knows about. So there's a lot of great character with these people that make them even a better martial artist because of who they are.
Anybody who gets into any martial art and actually stays with it for a while, the first thing that happens, I think, and it's certainly there's mental, psychological, spiritual, physical advantages, but just an increase of confidence. There's an increase of confidence that is universal.
Absolutely. Before the pandemic, it was about discipline, but now it's about confidence and then building the discipline because everyone just, I think, got knocked down a peg or two. And during this whole time, if you didn't learn a new skill or pick up something over the hall, you can YouTube anything and figure it out pretty much. Except you really can't learn everything on a video or in a book for martial arts. You have to be taught correctly. Otherwise, you'll have issues or habits that you're going to have to break. And that's another thing too. When I teach people, I teach a lot of people that come from different schools and different styles. Then I have to deal with their habits, which is fine. I tell them, look, what you learn might come in handy, and it might not. But if I have someone that's fresh, that doesn't do anything, I can make them good much faster than if I have to go back and fix them from what they learned before.
Now, we talked to the rock climbing gentleman in here, and he said that falling is, 80% of what you're doing most of the time when you're climbing. Learning how to fall in martial arts is a huge part of it.
There's a gentleman that's a black belt of mine named Jim Hibbs, and he broke his arm. He was driving his motorcycle and a car pulled out. His wife's a doctor, and he did a dive roll once he got hit, and it saved his life.
Just by instinct. He didn't think about it.
Correct.
I guarantee you.
Absolutely. So there's things that you don't even realize people are going to learn how it's going to help them in real life until it actually happens. So I have so many experiences of either self-defense, which I have a self-defense course actually starting tonight.
Do you still teach that? Self-defense class?
There's a class tonight. We do it now more than just quarterly. I'm going to have a 3-week course condensed to get people, because people don't want to go for 6 weeks. They can't be that consistent.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to condense it into 3 weeks and go, look, you never know, you might have to use this.
Short attention span theater. Yeah.
My daughters and I took his self-defense class. It was great.
I would
Just the one time
I
he
highly
came.
recommend it to anybody. I mean, why not?
We've had a man had to use it to save his family's life, actually.
Good.
So
I want you to kind of a little curveball of a question here as we wrap this one up in the hour. Explore more here at Nooga Radio every Friday 9 to 10. This is what we talk about. Is it not just outdoors, even though we can do all this stuff outdoors? I mean, just things that'll get you off the couch, get you more motivated. We're trying to get Chattanooga in shape. What was it, the most in shape city that was announced earlier this week? Arlington. That will not stand. Chattanooga must take that title. All right, but what is your opinion on MMA? Because we had the huge fight last weekend, and everybody's been talking about it ever since. I can't stand to watch it personally.
I haven't watched it since the 4th one. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to bring a UFC legendary person here in October.
Ooh.
And everyone's going to come to my dojo because they want to learn some jiu-jitsu and some ground fighting and maybe some wrestling.
I was going to say.
But here's the problem. I asked my sensei a long time ago. I even trained with a guy that actually fought MMA, the Alaskan Assassin. I asked my sensei, will you teach me to be in the mixed martial arts? Will you teach me to do that? And he goes, I can't train someone to hurt somebody else and have them feel good about that.
Thank you. It's just too brutal for me. I mean, I could watch the old days of heavyweight boxing, and it was the sweet science. I knew people's brains were getting rattled. I knew it hurt, but I still enjoyed watching. I can't enjoy MMA.
Yeah, for karate, it's for defense only. But the other thing is the character of the people that are in those rings. Some people have great character, and some people just showed themselves the way they are. And I don't think it's right for the last fighter what he did and said things about someone else's family. I mean, it's just wrong.
Take the last just few seconds here, and again, plug away for your business. Tell people how to get in touch with you.
Sure, it's Greens Karate, greenskarate.com. We're on all social media, even MySpace. 423-405.
Wow.
Still there, huh?
Dojo. Yeah, still there.
Oh, you just aged yourself. I've got all of that posted to our Facebook page too as well.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
I still own a pencil and a pad, and a phone with a cord. All right. Corey, good to see you, buddy. I appreciate it. And that's it. I mean, we still haven't even touched on surfing. We've still got breakdancing.
We'll get there.
You're going to find me a breakdancer.
Yes.
I can find a surfer if you can find a breakdancer.
Breakdancing
If you're a
is
breakdancer, call me, 635-3557.
breakdancing is moving, not going anywhere.
Yeah, I can do that all day. They should have called me. Thank you, man. I appreciate it very much. Y'all have a great weekend. Rockyology tonight, 6 p.m. Nooga Radio, right here, 92.7 live. Do the streaming audio thing at the Facebook page, the website, and however else you can listen. And continue to spread the word. Go to fredpodcast.com for all the other extra special benefits.
That was fun.
Thank you.